Our mission as a church is to invite people to discover and experience God's ways. I'm excited that today we're going to be talking about inviting. So why do we share the gospel with others? Now, this first one should be enough for us, but I want to give you two. And the first one is this, is Jesus said to. Jesus said to share with others. But here's the second reason. The second reason is that people are hopeless without Christ. Without Jesus Christ in their life, they are hopeless. For us as Christ followers, often we think, when we think of evangelism, we either get really excited and pumped up and ready to go, or we get kind of nervous and we get kind of timid. And I think one of the reasons that we think in those two extremes is one has to do with our spiritual gifting, but another one can have to do with the fact that we tend to make it harder than it has to be. I want you to think about the concept of an invitation for a moment. Think about inviting. Now, the word invite, it's a verb, and it means to request the presence or participation of in a kindly, courteous, or complimentary way, especially to request to come or to go to some place, gathering, entertainment, etc., or to do something. You see, life's defining moments often involve an invitation. It's true in our personal lives, but it's also true for our spiritual lives. Let's take a look at John 1, 40 through 46. Starting in verse 40, one of the two who heard John speak and followed Jesus was Andrew, Simon Peter's brother. He first found his own brother Simon and said to him, "We have found the Messiah," which means Christ. He brought him to Jesus. Jesus looked at him and said, "You are Simon, son of John. You shall be called Cephas," which means Peter. The next day, Jesus decided to go to Galilee. He found Philip and said to him, "Follow me." Now, Philip was from Bethsaida, the city of Andrew and Peter. Philip found Nathanael and said to him, "We have found the one whom Moses in the law and also the prophets wrote, Jesus of Nazareth, son of Joseph." Nathanael said to him, "Can anything good come out of Nazareth?" Philip said to him, "Come and see." You see, just from this passage right here, we see that Andrew invited Simon Peter. So this year, our strategic initiative is simply pray, invest, and invite. Well, we see spiritual transformation occurring in a couple of ways. In the ways that people relate to others, the way that they team together, the way that they live life, and the way that they share the gospel. And we define that as pray, invest, and invite. Pray, what we do is we pray for individuals and families in our spheres of relationship who currently don't yet know Jesus. We invest our personal resources, our time, our money, whatever it may be, into building relationships for the purpose of sharing Christ. So after we invest, then we look for opportunities to invite people into our lives, into our home, into our church, and then we intentionally show and share the gospel with them. So I want to invite you to be a part of this year's strategic initiative. Ask God for one person who's not yet a family member, somebody that you already have a relationship with, and ask God to show you how you can pray for them, how you can invest in that relationship, how you can be involved in their life, and then how you can make an invitation. A couple of things I want you to consider as you consider being a part of this initiative. One, when it comes to inviting, just do it. Here's another thing to consider is people are often in different places spiritually, and they have different levels of receptivity. Here's another thing to consider is that we're responsible to invite, but not for the outcome of our invitation. Another kind of helpful thing to think about when you think about inviting people, and I heard another pastor share this, it was listen for the 4 nots. Listen to the 4 nots. Listen for when people say that they're not doing well. Listen to people who are not from around here if they say they're not prepared for what's next. Then the 4th knot is if you hear them say they're not in church. Finally, I don't want you to underestimate the power of your story. If you're a follower of Jesus, you have a story. So there is so much power in an invitation. I want to invite you to be a part of this year's strategic initiative to pray, invest, and invite.